Hello everyone and welcome back to another Korean movie review by EonTalk. As always, I'm your host Ian, and this time around, let's take a look at the Korean comedic film Men of Plastic. Dae-guk, a native of the upper-class neighborhood Apgujeong, is a man full of many business ideas and very well-spoken. One day, he meets Chiu, a once top-notch plastic surgeon who's been stripped of his recognition, and Dae-guk instantly sees Chiu's hunger to come back on top. And that's when Dae-guk's business brain dings with an idea. He brings together the skills of Chiu, the intel of Mi-jung, the wealth of Taechon, and influence of Kyu to create the biggest plastic surgery clinic of not only Apgujeong but Asia as a whole. Men of Plastic was directed by Im Jin-sun, who also directed Superstar and The Villagers. The film was a light and funny comedy that featured the likes of Ma Dong-seok aka Don Lee, Jung Kyung-woo, Onara, and Choi Byung-mo. If you know me, you know I'm a big fan of Ma Dong-seok, and so it was great to see him in another K movie. Although I must say a very odd character selection on his part. He has multiple characteristics in my opinion, and a wide array of characters he can portray. I'll get more into this later, but first, let's take a look at what I found to be the good parts about the film. The first good thing about Men of Plastic is, as you can probably guess, the cast. The film had a great cast lineup and it's always good to see Ma Dong-seok, albeit quite strange in certain roles. The movie had good chemistry between the cast members, and although some casting choices raised eyebrows, it was overall a good assembly for the most part. Moreover, as briefly mentioned a few times prior, Ma Dong-seok has a bizarre side to him. He's made a name for himself as the macho, buff, wreck through everything type of guy, and then he also goes and plays odd characters such as in Men of Plastic. Nevertheless, love to see more of him as he's definitely one of the most beloved Korean actors nowadays. Okay, now that we took a look at what I found to be the good parts about Men of Plastic, let's take a look at what I found to be the bad parts about the film. The biggest negative of the film, in my opinion, is a personal preference, but I felt that the film had over-the-top comedy. It felt cringe and forced at parts, and wasn't to my personal taste. However, I acknowledge that this is most definitely a personal preference. In sum, if you're looking for a light film to watch without much thinking, and are a fan of Ma Dong-seok, this fits that outline.
If you are also a lover of Korean movies like me, please join me and tvNMovies, home of Korean blockbusters, on social media.